Yo.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys? Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, one.
I brought it back because people said I must bring it back.
Who said you must bring it back?
This network.
On the troll.
This network. Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We are back again. It is that time, 10 past that time. Again, I know that people wait for us, but we also wait for load shedding. We work according to that. Forgive us for starting on different times. That's what we are given. We are going to work around that. And for those who are here and waiting for us already, thank you very much for joining us. We are happy to be back in court and seeing everything going as fast as it can. And some of the things being skipped, the nitty-gritties, squatting and all those things, we don't see them. Point the person, crying, a lot of things that have been taken away. But also a bit of change in what is being presented now, a bit of change. Maybe even one can argue that there's an additional charges that were added. But it's a greeting from us. Please subscribe, like the video as usual. Thank you for those who have liked already. 126, 88 people are on already. That is good story. Matela Tongo, people who are not sleeping, people who are up, working, doing everything. Greet you, enjoy, and we hope that today we have peace. Internet does not distract or disturb us, but as much as we can, we will try on our side as much as we can. That is what we can promise you. It's a greeting. Emily, how was your day?
Oh, my day was very hectic, but I thank God I pulled through.
You pulled through.
I pulled through. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again on another one of these live streams where we cover the Senzo Meyiwal trial. We cover everything that happened in court and we give our opinions. And then we open the lines at a later stage for you guys to call in and share your opinions as well.
Yes.
But before we do that, we'd like to refresh everyone's memory and really give a summary of what happened to those who couldn't watch the proceedings so that they can join and be part of the conversations, right? So the proceedings were not off to a great start today. They started late at around 11:20, and apparently journalists were told by Advocate Baloyi that one of the lawyers was dealing with another matter in another courtroom, which is why they had started late. And counsel that was were called to the judge's chambers in the morning, and the judge started by apologizing for the late start after he came back from the chambers. And he said that Advocate Mnisi was involved in a civil matter before Judge Mulop, and unfortunately they had promised that they would start at 9 a.m. and finish at 10 a.m. but he was told that they had a problem with the recording machinery that side, that other court, and that's why they started late. So he apologized for that, and it was very refreshing to hear an explanation and see a judge apologizing, because I don't think we used to have that with Judge Mshipiwa Maumela much. We didn't know why people would start late, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
So Advocate Judge Baloyi started off by saying that the state is ready to start, and he read out the charges. So the charges: first count, murder of Senzo Meyiwa; second count, attempted murder of Zandile Khumalo. Now this one surprised me. This one shocked me.
Yep.
This one is like witness number 5. So okay, fine, we'll find out later why that charge was added. And the accused unlawfully intentionally attempted to kill Mrs. Zandile and Lorraine Khumalo and other female persons by shooting at her with a firearm. So basically, they ran the narrative of Tumelo and Zandi about Zandi's foot being injured. So they believe that her foot was somehow grazed by some bullet fragment or a spark or something like that. So I wonder if there are any medical records to show that it even happened, because at this point, word of mouth for me is insufficient. So the footage also, we will need to really think back, like this thing. I feel like it's a stretch but we will see with time. The third count was robbery that was added with aggravating circumstances. So the accused unlawfully and intentionally assaulted Miss Kelly Khumalo and Miss Gladness Khumalo, and did with force and violence take a Samsung S4 cellular phone, the property in their lawful possession, and did rob them of the same aggravating circumstances being present, and accused made use of a firearm. So Baloyi basically used Lorraine's previous testimony to add more charges, in my opinion. The fourth count was unlawful possession of a firearm, and in that the accused were unlawful possession of a firearm, a 9mm parabellum cause model 75 pistol, of which the serial number was tampered with without being in possession of a license to possess the firearm. Fifth count was unlawful possession of ammunition, and the state will assert that the provisions of the minimum sentence legislation, section whatever, it's a lot, of 1997 are applicable in the matter was planned or premeditated as envisioned in the schedule. So the death of the deceased was caused by the accused in or after committing robbery with aggravating circumstances.
Okay.
So then Judge Rata Mokwatleng asked if the accused understand the charges that were read before them and if they discussed them with their counsel. And Mr. Sibia, who is accused number 1, confirmed to have understood the charges and to have discussed them with his counsel. But then the judge asked, your counsel also explained to you that there are competent verdicts which may arise if the state has not succeeded in proving the charges as enlisted in the charge sheet. For instance, if they can't prove murder, there could possibly be a verdict of culpable homicide. So he even gave an example and tried to explain that if they can't prove that it was murder, and you can say that you shot Judge Rata Mokwatleng, but it was not planned or it was an unintentional, then they can change it to culpable homicide. And Mr. Sibia honestly really looked like he didn't understand what that was going on. I don't know if you saw it, Mr. Narobes. He looked like he doesn't understand what they're talking about. And then he said no, he didn't understand. And then the judge asked Counsel Ramosipele, and then Ramosipele said that cannot be true. He explained everything to him with respect to competent verdicts and made examples too. And the judge pointed out that he may not recall pertinently what was being explained to him. And then accused number 1, Sibia, said that he does not recall his lawyer explaining that in the case that there may not be sufficient evidence on the murder charge. For instance, he could still be found guilty on other charges depending on the evidence led in court. So the judge did try to explain, and still Mr. Sibia didn't get it, and then the court had to adjourn for 30 minutes to allow defense counsel to explain competent verdicts to the accused. So these are well established in the field of criminal law, whereby an accused may be convicted on a lesser charge based on similar elements to that of the main charge.
Yes.
So court came back in session, and Mr. Sibia and the other accused confirmed to have explained the charges and competent verdicts. Accused number 1, Mr. Sibia, pleaded not guilty on all the charges. And Ramosipele stood out to say that accused number 1 also elects not to make a plea explanation. Accused number 2, Mr. Ntanzi, wathi yena angazi lutho, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. And Mr. Ramosipele also said that he as well prefers not to make a plea explanation. So a plea explanation is like what them explaining themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Accused number 3, Mr. Mncube, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Mr. Mnisi also stood up to say that Mr. Mncube prefers to exercise his right in terms of the Constitution to remain silent. Accused number 4, Mr. Mapisa, pleaded not guilty to all the charges. And Khumalo also stood up to raise that bare denial in respect of all counts, in a sense that he knows nothing. Akazi lutho. So accused number 5, Mr. Ntuli, pleaded not guilty to all the charges, and Advocate Mshololo stood up to say that Mr. Ntuli will elect to remain silent as well. Yeah, and then Advocate Baloyi went through admissions. This is what he said in the admissions that he submitted. I think I need to take a sip. Oh my God.
Yeah, do. While you're doing that, let me just answer Nkosentle Malinga. Before you proceed with today's update, Mr. Nunmas, yesterday you said the story of a gold tooth isn't new on this case, whose statement was that ever mentioned. My submission was that, one, the information that they probably, in my thinking, keep on playing with, changing everything, even now, the additional stuff that is being added, it is something, one, that has been dealt with before, but because maybe, in a sense, dealt with before, but because some of these lawyers were not there, or probably they don't have, or maybe might not have more information about the case itself, then they would lack some of the things. But pulling from, for example, if there were statements that were made and
Yes.
you don't have maybe certain statements, and as a person from NPA, I can still pull from that to kind of add more salt on that narrative. And then it's your job to ask that. Why I said that is because Ramusipeti said those are new things.
He
And Baloyi didn't stand up and say this is yes, new. No. So he didn't affirm that was new. It's something that probably was there. Maybe Ramusipeti didn't get a chance to go through that, or maybe he's not in position of that. So that is an explanation of why that it didn't seem like something, oh, this one is coming out of nowhere, there's something like that. No, it just is something that was added.
already on the
But
statement.
seemingly from where I was sitting, I didn't see others fighting and say, yeah, that is new, that was not there.
They
It was like more relaxed. Only Ramusipedi didn't have that information. It was pointed out by the accused, right? To
Yes.
Ramusipedi.
Yes.
And he was also taken aback to say, whoa, maybe you've got a point, so I need to raise these things on record. These are new things. But Baloyi, it was just usual. It was a day as usual, and he didn't
Usual
even
amendment.
yes, and he didn't even include it as a new thing. It just, he said it didn't change anything, basically.
Yes.
Yes.
It's on record. He said he didn't change anything to the judge.
Yes. So, Emily, you can continue. I hope that I have dealt with this, because we don't have information. It might sound like that, but we are reading the people that are there. I mean, if you think that this is new, you'll be throwing your tables around and saying, but this is something that is not here. You know, not in a smooth way. Yeah, for me it was new, and to the accused it was new, but the rest of the people are just cool with it.
Yeah.
That's why I said probably some of the things are there, but maybe they are not in the position of all or everyone. As we have seen, some people have been furnished with the charge sheet, some have not. So it's a pattern that we're looking at.
Contested it if it was new, so it means that perhaps it's there in some of the old statements that were not covered in the previous, before the de novo.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
Advocate Baloyi went through the admissions, and this is how it went. Mr. Senzo Robert Meyiwa, an adult male, was certified dead by Dr. Mchekwani at Botsilong Hospital on the 26th of October 2014 at 21:15 And a copy of the death certification was handed up as an exhibit, and that body of the deceased was received from Constable V.M. Mzini of Vosloorus Police and transported from Butsilong Hospital by Miss T.P. Sintumule, a forensic pathology officer, to the Forensic Pathology Services at Germiston for safe custody. Mortuary serial number, they gave what it was, and a copy of the transportation of the body was also attached as an exhibit. Miss T.P. Sintumule identified the body to a fellow colleague, Miss Elizabeth Mukwena, a forensic pathology officer, as well as Germiston on the 17th of October 2014 on the 27th of October, 27th of October 2014 at 17:30. Confirmation was handed up as exhibit as well. So the body of the deceased was identified by Mr. Sifiso Meyiwa, the brother of the deceased, on the 28th of October 2014 to Miss Elizabeth Mukwena, a forensic pathology officer, and that declarations were handed in as exhibits, and that Senzo Meyiwa did not sustain additional injuries after his death. So Dr. Johannes Steenkamp conducted a medical post-mortem examination on Senzo on the 28th of October 2014 and recorded on a form handed in as an exhibit. Post-mortem showed that his death is consistent with bullet wound of the chest involving the heart and lungs. The accuracy and correctness of the photo album compiled by Surgeon Thabo Musia marked another exhibit displaying the scene. The accuracy of another photo album key and sketch plan compiled by the then warrant officer Mhlahlo. Photos were taken during the post-mortem examination on the 28th of October 2014. So I'm relieved that at least it's now post-mortem. Yeah. So Judge Ratam Khwatleng asked the accused whether they understood their admissions, and all of them said yes. The accused, that is, they said yes. Advocate Baloyi now outlined the case against the accused and explained who Meyiwa was. The structure of the presentation of the state case will be that the state will call witnesses who were inside the house when Meyiwa was shot, neighbors to give evidence with aid of a photo album of the scene. Then 2 photographers will also be called, and he said we will lead ballistic evidence and related evidence and forensics and police officers who attended the scene. A cell phone analyst will also be called who will do cell phone mapping, showing cell phone contacts between the various role players. Now, this is the first time I was listening to all of this information. I was like, this is the first time such has been mentioned, because we've been asking ourselves, where is the forensic pathology report? Where is but this trial looks like they mean business.
But before you celebrate that, I want to draw you 2 scenarios. Let's say indeed there was an intruder.
Yes.
And then the other one is there was no intruder. If there's forensic and cell phone expert in a situation where there was no intruder, where do you think they're going to get that information?
Good question. We'll find out when the trial unfolds where that information will be coming from and how.
You think so?
Yes, it has to be demonstrated. Even though now I have a problem with us not being shown exhibits, but we will need to be shown and demonstrated. Apela, we can't be eating stuff like we don't have brains.
I was excited. I was excited that that came out, but on a second thought, I was like, let's say the theories that have been put to us are true. You know, let's say there's one that is more closer. Let's say the people that are saying, hey, Longo came there and left. How are we going to prove that the cell phone that is being tested, indeed, it is from these people?
How?
I'm just thinking because.
But I guess there's a first time for everything. We'll find out.
No, the question is why I'm worried about that.
Why are you worried about?
Because it might they might say, yeah, here's your phone. How are we going to be comfortable and say, yeah, that's that guy's phone?
That's their work that they have to do. It's not ours, is it not?
No, it's not ours. I'm just thinking out
And
loud.
the accused would definitely be
And
able
I'm
to
worried
confirm.
about the removing of time now. When people came in.
Yeah. That 8 o'clock.
What is it called? Longwe came in a bit late. What did Zandi say today? He came in
gonna
later
get
after
into
that. Yeah, I'm just thinking, but get into it.
We're going to get into it. So they said that we will also call private persons to whom certain utterances were made by some of the accused. But they said that there will be a trial within a trial to determine the admissibility of certain statements made by some of the accused persons. Now, question, is it not what Advocate Defo wanted from the very beginning and Jefewa Maumela denied it?
It was.
Advocate Baloyi then continued to say that the state called on Mrs. Zandile Lorraine Khumalo as their first witness. She is witness number 1 on the list. Now, this trial, the previous trial, she was witness number 5. This one, she's witness number 1. And Baloyi reminded the judge of the agreement that there will be no visuals of the witnesses. There'll only be a live broadcast of the sound recording. And the judge asked if the press is aware of this arrangement. And Baloyi said, indeed, my lord, there'll be no photos taken of any exhibits that will be handed down in court. Now, personally, I have a problem with this. I even had a problem with Lorraine's testimony because we couldn't see the exhibits that they were being pointed at. And I don't understand why Advocate Baloyi doesn't want to show the public or even the Meyiwa family those exhibits.
Yeah.
So the judge said that what should have happened, the press should have come to his chambers just to say which media they represent and apply to be accredited as such. Remember, this is a new trial, so they may need to reintroduce themselves to the new presiding officer. And if there's no objection from the defense, they must indicate which media house they are from, and that's what they did. They introduced themselves to the media, and their media houses requested. Then Advocate Mshololo brought up a point from her. She said that she had a problem with pictures that were taken when they were consulting with their clients, or when they were robing, putting on their lawyer attire, or pictures taken during proceedings. She said that it must be clear what needs to be broadcasted or recorded. She has a problem with 2 journalists in particular. She wanted to also hear the purpose of the broadcasting. Is it to take pictures for the court or for the counsels during or in between or outside the proceedings? Because it's annoying when someone is facing at them with a camera and they're busy consulting with a client.
You see, you took this case that has public interest at heart. In my thinking is that you let's say there was visualization that was allowed all over. Would you still have a problem as a lawyer?
No, if I took a high profile
Because
case,
why I'm saying this, the only reason why we are running on a limping leg, in a sense of visualization being shown, we are doing this because of Lorraine.
yes,
Why is then Mshololo worried about that?
I don't know, because
Because we could be visualizing everything like we did with Msia and everyone else.
yes.
So why all of a sudden that has become now the issue that
I don't know.
now the defense lawyer has to have?
I don't know. With Advocate Mshololo, you just never know these days. You just never know. You just never know. You just never know what the problem actually is. Because I was like, you have been on this case for 2 years. You've been recorded and everything.
Yes.
There's nothing.
All of a sudden now with this new judge, we want to point media from. I mean, the media has done everything that they can do in terms of not showing Lorraine, which we assumed is the one who had a problem.
And by the way, they can still reapply to broadcaster if they wanted to, because this is a new trial.
I think they should apply. And why I'm saying that they should apply is because they are trading on thin waters there. If now, all of a sudden, everyone is now fighting not to be shown, next thing
everyone is gonna.
Next thing we are going to shut down everything.
Yes. So
because this thing of where we're gonna go with an audio, why not start with
and
it? They
provided that she was conducting interviews in your media prior. I mean, why not?
It's worrying to hear someone really ranting about that all of a sudden. Someone who at some point was standing on the side saying, yeah, everyone should, because we've already been shown also, and even our lives and whatnot. And now all of a sudden, there's a bit of a problem.
Now all of a sudden, they want privacy.
Because if it starts like that, then next thing, don't show the accused. She's the one who was arguing. I think that the accused have been shown already.
The accused, their pictures are all over the media. You know, she did point it out.
Now all of a sudden there's a problem.
Maybe she's also planning for her accused, not to be shown anymore.
In all honest, my interest is more on 1 to 4. Why I'm saying that? Because I mean the other one, is already serving and
it's a lot.
It's a lot. So
it's a scary lot.
I'm even worried that Mshololo is the one who mostly objects the time. They wanted to start at 9:30.
Yes,
and then Mshololo objected that let us continue the way we've been doing. It is worrying. It is worrying. You have taken 30 minutes away, right? Because you normally you were supposed to finish at 4, but you are finishing at 3:30.
Yes.
What is wrong with giving that 30 minutes back?
9:30. Well, Zandile Khumalo did take an oath and started now to give her testimony. Now, Zandile confirmed that she knew Senzo Meyiwa, who was in a relationship with her sister, Kelly. Their relationship started between 2012 and 2013. They have one child together, Tingo, who is 9 this year, and that the two, Senzo and Kelly, had stayed together in Malbarton. In 2014, Lorraine's parental house was in Kutwanong Street in Vosloorus, right? Then I also want to ask a question, guys. The writing. You know, the way Advocate Balo is writing, is like this information is fresh.
Yeah, I think he's writing what the answer was, so that he can be able to defend if he needs to defend.
Okay.
Yes.
So she says that on the day that Senzo Meyiwa passed on, the 26th of October 2014, Senzo, Kelly, herself, and Mthokozisi woke up in Malbarton. And on that day, they were going to a party at one of Meyiwa's friends, Roy Mahumotsa. And that Kelly was scheduled to perform at the Dorothy Nyembe in Soweto. This time around, she described it as a park. Then they woke up and got ready for work because she was working with Kelly at the time. Kelly is a singer. She was doing a lot behind Kelly's brand. That's what she said today, which was like, okay, girl, rebranding, all right, new information. She said she was doing the management. She was a dancer, and she was a backup singer to her sister, Kelly Khumalo. They all left in the same vehicle on that day, and Kelly said that they would leave Senzo where he was going.
Yes.
At the party. So they used the BMW X6. Baloy asked who did the BMW belong to, the X6. And Zandi said that what she knows is that both Kelly and Senzo signed for the car. And I was like...
I was also... yeah.
When they arrived at the party or the venue of the party, Senzo got off to find that the party had not started. They all got into the car and headed for Dorothy Nyembe, and Senzo said they will come back again. They then arrived at Dorothy Nyembe. Kelly and herself performed, then they left. Listen to how short this whole thing was. It didn't take an hour of explanation. Remember how long the explanation of moving from the Malberton place to Dorothy Nyembe. The story was so long the last time. Today, sweet and short. So they left around 2 to 3 p.m. And note that previously, if I remember correctly, they said they left around 3 to 4. So this time around, it's 2 to 3. All right. So Zandi then said they then passed by a house which Senzo said was the home of one of his friends, that he wanted to give money to one of his friend's mother. And then they drove to Katlehong. Before, she was not certain why they were going to Katlehong, but she got to find out that it was Mtogo's home. So they also fixed this part. This part was a mess the last time.
It was a mess.
I remember. So they kind of cleaned it up, honey. They made sure. Witness number one made sure this time she's brief. You understand? She's to the point. And in between, Kelly was talking to their mother, and their mother said that they should come and eat. And then Advocate Mshololo rise to object that it is hearsay. To say that she had a conversation that was happening over the phone between Kelly and her mom is hearsay. And then Advocate Baloyi asked that it be scrapped off the record. They proceeded together, then went to the N3 highway. On their way home, there was a conversation between Senzo and Tumelo, and she said that she heard afterwards that was Tumelo that was talking with Senzo over the phone. She didn't know at the time they were traveling in the car. Then she heard Kelly tell Senzo that, and then Advocate Baloyi stopped her again by telling her that she may not disclose what other people said. Yeah. When I think of the mess that was happening the last time, and I'm like, even Advocate Baloyi knows the rules. What was happening the last time?
He's not interested in the nitty-gritties this time. He's every time, because I think he understands that if you allow Zandi airtime, she can really create a puzzle that it will be difficult for you to solve. So that's what is happening. I think she speaks more, she gives more granular information that can eventually come back to bite her, in a sense. That's why she's being cut off.
After they were done with Mtogozisi, they then went home. Zandi said they picked Tumelo Madlala up from an off-ramp in Views on the highway, drove to her house in Vosloorus, and while they were parked outside the yard, they decided that they needed to go get some drinks at Kwembu's Tavern. La? But it's fine. They arrived, it's a new trial. They arrived at around 4 to 4:30 p.m. Kelly and Senzo didn't have cash, and it was her money that she used, which was 400 to buy the drinks. She and Mtogo got off to buy the drinks before they drove back to her house. It didn't take them long. It took them about 10 minutes.
Yes.
So they found her mother. She welcomed them, and then she dished up. They sat at the dining room, it's a sitting area actually. She says that she still remembers the sitting arrangements in the house when they got back from the tavern. They showed her the photo of which we did not get to see, and on the exhibits, Advocate Baloyi conveniently has blocked the entire nation from seeing them. Okay, so Tumelo sat closer to the TV stand. From what I heard, the couch on the left next to Senzo was Mtogo. Kelly sat next to Senzo on the ottoman. Herself, Zandi, and mother shared the couch on the right, and her mother seated next to the stand. She sat next towards the door, towards the exitway. And after her mother dished up, they ate. After they finished eating, she's the one who was taking the drinks and serving them to their visitors. So Zandi said that at the same time there was a football match playing on the TV, and if she remembers well, it was English soccer. And she says, I was also chatting to Longwe on the phone via SMS. That was her boyfriend at the time, Longwe Twala. She said, I later called him to say he could come through. He asked where I was. I told him that I was at home with Senzo and Kelly. And then he later sent me an SMS saying that he was outside. It was around 6 or 7 p.m. I asked my mother if there was enough to eat. My mother said there was food, but she was going to need soup in order to add. And her mother then asked Kelly to go to the store to buy some soup. Kelly took Senzo and then got an SMS. She then got, that's Zandi, she got an SMS from Longwe to say he was outside. And then he said, I put my tracksuit on.
What did he say last time? I'm sorry, Ahmed. What did he say last time? I know that with De Novo, we're not comparing. But didn't it say he called?
She did say Longwe called the last time.
Okay.
That I remember it as well. She did say Longwe called. Longwe is the one who called. But now, kukhulunga ngama SMS.
Okay.
SMS again.
By the way, I pinned Ntsigi's question. Do you guys think that the new judge will listen to the old information? No. De novo means start afresh.
From scratch.
So there's nothing. You cannot ask a question overlapping to what is given now.
He's working with what he's collecting from today. So it doesn't matter what was said before. It's none of his business. Yes. So she said, when I stepped outside, I saw Kelly getting some coins from the car. And when I stepped out of the yard to Longwe's car, I found Senzo chatting with Longwe. Longwe arrived in a red Polo Vivo. Kelly came and took Senzo to the shop, and I went with Longwe inside the house. And Longwe greeted. Once he got inside the house, who did Longwe greet?
Because Mtogo was outside and Tumelo was outside, right?
Everybody was outside, honey,
except the mother.
Except for the mother.
So I guess he greeted the mother.
But at the kitchen door, there was Tumelo and Mtogo. At the kitchen door, there was Tumelo and Mtogo.
Kwakungathi kungena ingilozi yokufa. Do you remember those words?
Yes. They were from the Netflix documentary by Tumelo. And they were
just for our viewers,
Mtogo.
What?
They were narrated by Mtogo to the author of the book.
Where he said, apparently, the entering of Longwe, it was like, what do we call it? What do we call this? An angel of death.
Or the angel of death
has arrived. That was it. Everyone was silent. In a sense, I'm just thinking.
Now all of that has gone away. We are de novo.
No, we will. I'm just waiting. I'm reminding our dear friend Umtogo when he comes out,
that he must clean up his testimony. Umtogo, yours is gonna be tricky, Mama. If they started with Lorraine and she's telling it like this,
I'm worried about
Togo no Tumelo.
No, Tumelo is still fine in my own thinking.
No, he's not fine with regards to the crutches. You'll listen to what happened with the crutches. Longwe entered the house. They sat down and Kelly came back with the soup. Their mother fixed a meal for him fast and dished for him, and he ate. Now the question is, where was Senzo at this time? In my head. Baloy then asked for a long adjournment. Right, it was lunchtime now. So now the recordings were a bit tricky with the SABC, but then from what I could get, Zandi said that Mtogo and Tumelo went out to smoke. That was after the adjournment, the first few minutes I think it was silent or something like that. But then Zandi said that Mtogo and Tumelo went out to smoke, and Senzo and Kelly had a conversation with them coming back from the spaza shop. So Zandi said that I was in the car and Kelly came in to say Senzo wanted to leave. And my mother said to her, tell him to come inside to say goodbye properly. They then came in, and we then all sat in the dining room. They said how they were sitting before. Longwe sat on the couch on the right where Zandi was sitting with her mother, and on next to the fridge. Okay, she says from where she was sitting, she could see the kitchen door through an opening between the fridge and the wall. And Zandi said while they were sitting there, Kelly was the one standing and telling them a joke, and they were laughing.
What
and
a joke!
It was nice.
What a joke! Can we remind you guys to
On the troll.
to like the video? We have 499 people on the.
How
on our
many
stream.
likes?
We have less than 100. I don't know. Maybe this thing
guys.
has not. It's 100, 100 and something. I don't know.
Guys, you can do better than that.
Can we push the likes and push the subscribers?
Push them to 200, please. Please, guys.
While Emily
We are begging for likes.
Yeah, we are begging.
We are begging for likes. Okay?
Continue, Emily.
Then Advocate Baloy said, how did you see that? Okay, how did you see that? And then Zandi said, from where I was seated, you are able to see when the door opens.
Okay.
Although you can't see by whom, because the door opens to the inside.
So I would assume this door. Let me just see. You are sitting against the wall, but you can see because it's an open plane. You can see the door, but the door opens like an inside. It opens. It doesn't go outside when it opens. It opens inside. So you cannot see from the entrance point of view if someone is not fully opening the door. So
you can only see
you
them
can only
after
see
they've opened
after
the
they've
door.
opened and closed the door.
Okay, and they've entered their inside.
And I think that room is like that. When you saw the picture, when we could see the pictures, right?
Bring back the exhibits. Bring them back. I don't understand this whole thing of hiding exhibits. But then,
Yeah,
Zandi
everyone is
said-
just hiding since the senior judge is hiding.
Then Zandi then said, I then peeped ngapopola through the window. I wanted to see who opened the door without knocking. She says it was around 7:30 before 8. She saw 2 male persons at the passage. The short one with the dreadlocks stood in front. He was the first one to come in. It was very clear because the lights were on inside the house. Funny how she doesn't remember what he looked like.
And now there's lights now.
Now there's
proper
lights.
Lights are reinstated. Remember, there was that question of whether was it visible or not. Now, accused one is setting the record clear. It was clearly visible.
Tumelo. Wink, wink. The second one stood in the middle to the door that leads to the passage. He stood there next to the stove. The short one with the dreads was the one in front of the taller one. And the short one pointed a gun at them and said that they should take out their money and cell phones. He spoke in isiZulu. Then Kelly ran to the bedroom, her bedroom, Zandi's bedroom. Zandi said that the bedroom Kelly ran to is one facing the kitchen. Now, she pointed to a sketch in the screen that we did not get to see. Zandi said as Kelly ran into the bedroom, the second person followed and tried to open the bedroom door as she closed it. So now they're saying that Kelly ran into the bedroom and the second person followed, and then Kelly closed the door and
The same second person was standing by the stove.
yes.
Okay.
But what happened to that whole he was forcing to get in, there was a lot of things she said the last time. Now there's no forcement, there's none of that happening. So Zandi then said before the tall one ran after Kelly, he had been standing between the door of the kitchen into the passage. Longwe then stood up and pushed the short one with the dreadlocks with a gun as he ran out. The one with the dreadlocks was just between the walls, just before you get into the bathroom. After Longwe pushed him, Longwe ran out of the kitchen door. She says, I then hid my phone behind the cushions on the couch I sat on. Zandi said all of them then stood up and they pushed the gunman and the one who was trying to follow Kelly into the bedroom. And she says, we pushed both of them into the kitchen. She says she can't recall the order in which they stood up, but all of them were on their feet.
They were kind of like, in a sense, in simple terms, connected. It's what you normally see in Matrix movies. Like they knew what to do at what time, all together. Like now we are standing up, we are all pushing these people, and we're not leaving the one who's by the door of Kelly. We are taking them to the kitchen.
Zandi said while we were in the kitchen fighting with them.
But from De Novo, wasn't the other one already fighting by the kitchen?
That was what was said by the other witness.
Yeah.
That's why Ngiti, one of those two other witnesses, hi, they are in trouble. They are in trouble, Shem. I feel for them.
So, yeah, that's what De Novo does. We forgot, we must have that amnesia of rub that thing off. I know it's in your head.
Tumelo, if you thought you cried this time around, hi, angazi. I then saw Tumelo's crutch lying on the floor. This is what Zandi said, next to the heater. Remember, they're in the kitchen. The crutch was lying next to the heater. And then she says, I tried to hit the second one, the tall one, with it, but I couldn't reach him. And then Tumelo grabbed it out of my hands and used it to hit him. Do you remember Tumelo never said anything about him hitting the second intruder or any of the intruders with crutches?
Didn't she say that he took the crutches from the mother or something?
But did he use them?
I'm not sure, but I think I remember that narrative. Obviously, we are just not going to discuss it more because it does not exist anymore.
Zandi said that as the fight was on, she also saw Kelly was there. She was now out of the bedroom. She then saw Kelly in the kitchen. Then Tumelo is the one that she could remember who was on her right-hand side as they were standing there in front of the stove. The others, she couldn't remember exactly where they were because they were busy fighting this side. And this side, and this side. That's what she was saying. She couldn't really remember because they were, this side and this side. Then she said a firearm going off. The firearm went off from the one with the dreads who was holding the gun. So Zandi said a shot then went off from the short one with the dreads who was standing behind the door. She said, I then heard something hitting the floor and it felt like a spark hit my leg. She says she didn't see at the time what hit the floor. So it means Tumelo and I heard the same thing because we ran away at the same time. I entered the bathroom, Tumelo ran into the bedroom. So Zandi said while in the bathroom, she was standing. Then she remembered that there's a window and thought someone might see her through it and shoot again. Then she went down.
Do you see, before we take cover, do you see that again Mtogo is not included there? That's why I'm saying I think Tumelo can follow from that, but Mtogo story is not told that much.
Mtogo yake off ne.
We ran, me and Tumelo, we ran
in this
Togo
Akekho la.
does not exist as yet. We only remember Togo
Togo is not here.
from being taken to Fos Loras
He's not on the
and
scene.
whatnot, and then smoking outside with Dumelo, and then from there
They all push to
he
the
says to
kitchen.
exist. When they are pushing Togo, I don't know what, but he will come and tell us. Ngilozi yokufa.
Yeah. Then Zandi said, then I heard the firearm go off again while I was in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and I heard a third shot. Then I heard it go off for a third time, but this time it didn't sound like before. The sound from the firearm came from the kitchen as well, and then it all went quiet. Then I peeped ngapopola as I was squatting in the toilet. I peeped as I wanted to see what was happening. Zandi said, while I was still squatting in the bathroom as I tried to peep through the window, and then I saw Senzo walking, bent forward like this. So the witness was holding her chest area, according to the journalists who were in court. They're saying she said Senzo was walking like this, going to hide between the couch and the TV stand. Lorraine was sounding emotional again. That's what I heard from her voice, Mina, watching the proceedings.
She was
It's
ready
almost
to
like
point.
she's
You know,
ready to cry.
once she sounds emotional, she's ready to point. See, that's a difference. Normally, you would point and then be emotional. I guess he has not been allowed that chance of pointing.
I don't see that happening now. But I don't know. I don't know. I just wait till tomorrow. Because even the last time, this is the part where she started pointing. This particular part. Then Zandi then said that she saw Kelly following Senzo, and then saw her mother following them. They were from the kitchen.
All
She
this
says,
now, I just want to get clarity. We are seeing this now from the bathroom point of view.
Peeping.
So now we are peeping. We can see every movement in the house. From a disadvantaged position of being in a bathroom. I'm thinking in my space, the bathroom facing the corridor, and that's how these houses normally are built.
Yes.
So, but you still can see from where you are standing, peeping. You can see from the kitchen,
all the way to the between the couch and the TV stand.
The sitting room and also the bedroom, your bedroom. Yeah.
Well, they were from the kitchen. Then she saw the man with the dreadlocks, the second one, follow them to the dining room. Kelly arrived and stood behind Senzo. She said my mother stood next to them, just by the couch where she was seated. Then Kelly's phone was charging on the TV stand, and as she got there, their mother took out the phone from the charger. Then after taking the phone out, the short one with the dreads hit their mother with an elbow on her stomach.
This must be a most relaxed robbery that I've ever seen, where mothers are brave to still hide gadgets other than hiding their lives.
While Senzo also is there, pained and injured.
Yeah, this is the most relaxed. I guess at the time they hadn't seen that he was injured. But this must be most relaxed.
But he was walking. Remember, Lorraine saw from the bathroom. How could the mama not have seen if Lorraine saw from the bathroom that he was walking?
Never know.
Then after the mama got hit on the stomach with an elbow by the second intruder, the one with the dreads, and the phone fell out of her hand and fell onto the couch. Zandi then said that one with the dreadlocks took the phone and turned around as coming towards her, and then she locked herself again inside the bathroom. So Zandi said in no time I peeped through again and realized that he went through the door. I left the bathroom to join my mother, Kelly and Senzo, because I could see they were there. She only saw the one with the dreadlocks when she peeped. And then Kelly balanced Senzo with her knees. She was demonstrating, we didn't get to see exactly how. And then the mother was standing in front of the couch.
Yeah, like as I'm saying, start with God, that for me, this was the most relaxed robbery ever that you can ever encounter. And I don't think we will ever encounter something like that. Someone get in your house, you can still peep. They give you time if you peep and close your door. They don't mind you closing your door. They don't mind someone running out. They don't, like, this is the most relaxed robbery ever.
After shooting 3 times, he only takes 1 phone. But the phone was charging. Okay, the phone that was charging was not there anymore. It was taken. So before it was taken, she could not remember where it was. She said that it was at the charging station, whether it was on top of the TV stand and on top of the sofa. And this is where I began getting lost. I'm like, but earlier you said the phone fell on the couch.
What did she say?
She now said that she couldn't remember where the phone was. Was it between the TV stand or the... Because the advocate Balui asked again, where was the cell phone?
Her cell phone, because hers, she hid it when the process was starting, isn't it? And then this is the cell phone of Kaylee that was charging. That
she was asked again about the one that was charging, and she could now not remember whether it was on the sofa or the TV. And I got lost now. I was like, what cell phone are we talking about? What is happening here? Then Zandi then said when she came out of the bathroom, she looked into the kitchen and the door was open, but there was no one. And she said, when I got there in the sitting room, I noticed Senzo was bleeding. I then remembered I had hidden my phone behind the cushion and I found it there. Zandi said, I tried to dial 10-111, but my mind froze and I realized that I can't dial. Then I went out and looked for help outside. As I shower fresh egg and jala emergency number it is. I shower umwela njalo, like in panic mode.
No, there's no remembering of yeah. So
then she was sobbing. I heard her sob there. And then she says, I went out to my mother's friend Mapiri's house to ask for help. Now, Mapiri's house is opposite the Ngache house. And then she says, I went out to the gate and then I saw that there was a car outside Mapiri's house and Tabiseng was there. I am not sure of how she relates with Mapiri, but they are relatives. Last time she was very certain how Ntabiseng and Mapiri related to each other. I remember this one. She said that it was her niece, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That was the story.
So now it has changed. She doesn't know how they relate to each other. And then Zandi said she noticed that Tabiseng was busy talking to someone there. And then she said, I went into Mapiri's yard and I found her outside her house. I then asked her to call the police and ambulance as Senzo had been shot and there were intruders. After I told her that, she started to panic. She called in Tabiseng and so that Tabiseng can be the one to make the phone call. Both Tabiseng and Mapiri were panicking and crying. She then noticed that she was not getting any help there. And then she went back to the house.
So think about this. I'm the neighbor of someone. Something happens. We probably would hear the noise, as some neighbors said they had the noises and whatnot.
Then
and
I
you
cry.
see people, probably you are standing outside. It will be very interesting to hear from Tabiseng herself to say, if the person is still available, the person who parked the car outside, maybe
they can help us
out that was here to check on Tabi and whatnot. It will be very interesting. What did they see? Did you see someone running and still you remained outside and chilled?
But nakhona Mapiri and Tabiseng, both of them panicking and crying.
Without seeing the incident itself.
Amen.
It's very, yeah. I guess people have different emotions.
So she says that when she was walking back to the house, she found Mtogo, Kaya, and Bulelani carrying Senzo into the car. Kaya and Bulelani are the children of the Ngache family. As she was walking, she saw them walk towards the car, the S6 that they arrived in. She saw that they were struggling to put Senzo into the car, but she could see that it was difficult. Then she went through the passage and entered through the front door. She does not remember who was standing by the back door of the car. As she entered through the front door of the car, she says, I entered through the front door, I went through the front seats to go to the back, and then I pulled him from the inside. When I pulled him from the inside, we managed to get him inside the car, even though it was difficult. Now I'm trying to picture this in my head. I'm thinking, where were you pulling Senzo from? Were you pulling him from the back seat, the door of the back seat, or from the door of the front seat? Because I'm trying to picture all of this happening. She says, I closed the door and I sat by the window. It was the red door behind the driver. The deceased was lying in between the seats, the middle of the back seat. Zandi said that inside the car there was herself, Kelly, Mtogo, although she couldn't remember where Tumelo and Mtogo were sitting. Kelly was driving and she was sitting behind her. A car is a very small space.
It is.
How can you not remember Tumelo Mtogo and how they were positioned?
I guess you can only remember the narrative of a soap and whatnot. Guys, let us please like the video. The lines are going to be open very soon, Emily, as you finish there.
I'm wrapping it up now.
As we discuss normally, now we have been discussing. I've got nothing to say much other than...
There was a towel that she doesn't know who brought it, but it was used to put pressure on the wound. She was driving very fast as they rushed to the hospital. That's Kelly. She was driving very fast. And Baloyi said that they were about to now start a new topic and court had to adjourn until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And yeah, we've already talked about that whole argument that happened, whether it should start at 9:30 or 10:30. And yeah, it was a wrap. That's how it was today. Court was adjourned. We'll see tomorrow what happens. And today, I felt good watching the proceedings because it didn't feel like Maumela's court. No offense, or maybe it is an offense to him, but this story, if I remember correctly, 3 days of us listening to this testimony that was wrapped up today so beautifully and so nicely. It took 3 days the last time.
But during that process, even Baloyi was letting people explain beyond.
Over-explain.
You know, so if Mr. Afro is blamed for this, he's not alone.
Even.
Yeah, and because now all of a sudden there's change of work ethics, and now all of a sudden cutting off things that you don't find or don't deem necessary for the court, all of a sudden you are just to the T when it comes to doing your cross-examination and whatnot. You don't waste time.
No, Lorraine, Pelilo Papa. She was very calm today. I was like, what? Is this the same person?
Yeah, who wrote a letter.
Very calm witness. It was like,
Guys,
we're going somewhere. We're going somewhere.
Guys, let us make sure that we hit that like button as we do so.
The moment you see me doing this,
please note that the
lines are open. Today when I was like, Lorraine is so calm. Wow.
Do you think Baloyi is tired of this case, Busisiwe?
We
see. I think all of a sudden there's a bit of agents.
Pa, on the spot, correcting where he should correct. You know, even the judge said nothing today.
Yeah, chilled.
He has a big move. Tell her.
Chilled.
It was not that thing that I experienced the last month and the last couple of months that we've been experiencing.
Yeah.
It was very different today, and I liked it. I'm not complaining.
No one is ever gonna complain if the proceedings
happy.
are like this.
I'm happy it was to the point. You understand?
No one is ever gonna complain. If the proceedings are like this, I'm never gonna complain. I'm always gonna be happy.
Hi, so that we move. Even cross-examination, keep the same energy. If you don't remember, you don't remember. Let's move on. You understand?
It would be very nice if we can do that.
Hey, kotang worried ngotumelo nomthoko.
Yeah, we are all worried, but it's a good thing that there was that over.
Abana indaba le. They even skipped the drama that happened at the hospital. Did you guys notice that was not really? Or maybe they'll move to it tomorrow.
Maybe.
Perhaps
There's going to be that tomorrow, a bit of maybe an hour or so.
Just to discuss the drama that was happening at the hospital. I wonder if this time witness number 1 will mention the breaking down of Chico Twala. Silindile. But
Yeah, guys, the number is a WhatsApp number. There is the other number 071.
Yes.
You can call, and obviously if you're international, it's +27 for an international audience. And South African, you use it as you normally use it. I'm seeing here Vaselina seemed irritated. I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, there's movement in the case. That's all I can say.
Do you think what irritates him is Lorraine's testimony, or the fact that now he has to do play by procedure?
Yeah,
what could be irritating him?
Yeah, it could be that now there is no chance of, like everything, and you want someone who's gonna give you exactly what happened, and that's it. Get it over and done with. And now you have to rectify and do all those things because that person likes to over explain, and perhaps you try by all means to tell them, look, man, you don't need to over explain yourself.
Well, the judge also reminded Lorraine that she's not allowed to talk to anybody, including her mom, about the case. So it's Pumule. He's social media.
This guy is like throwing a bit of any. Even when Mshololo was saying no, we should continue with 10. It's like you guys are playing Fifi. Fafi.
China.
Hey,
he does have a sense of humor, though. He does. He tries to lighten up the room. There was even a point where Advocate Khumalo was talking a very unusual term for us laymen, and he was like, he made a joke there. I was like, okay.
The cell phone is off. Hi, boo. Jani manch.
So it's not coming through.
I don't know, but it's on here.
Hey, is it our network? Is it working?
Can you try it, Emil?
Let me try.
So that
we're experiencing load shedding in South Africa, guys. Those of you are international and probably asking yourselves, what is going on? So the network gets interrupted sometimes when the power goes away. So some people may be trying to call and it's just not getting through because some of the lines are down.
There's 07.
Give me the number.
It's let me check it. Let me just check it quickly. It's me see if I can see it here. Come on, man. Here we go.
Okay, found it.
Okay, cool. So that we check for you if it's really off. If it's off, I'm gonna have to turn it off and on.
It says line busy.
Why
So
would it be busy? Okay, guys,
you
I'm
need
just
to
gonna
do something. Either you turn it on or off again, or refresh it.
let me just refresh it.
Yeah, refresh it. So yes. Barely samika fafi.
Yeah, it
Badlala
has
mo-China.
been. I see someone is calling though.
Okay, please answer. Please answer. I wanna hear what you guys think, okay? Ngifuna ukuzwa ukuthi nithini. What did you think of today? That was happy. I felt like I never thought that something like this would be happening where we see movement. Hey, babu.
Yeah, there was.
Where there was gaga, gaga, gaga. Bokuhamba nje, bokuhamba smooth. No tea breaks. Or did we get, or it was that 30-minute adjournment for defense counsel to explain, particularly to Mr. Sibia. But that was it. That was just it. No constant tea breaks.
Can you believe? How long did that break take?
30 minutes. It was for the counsel to explain to their clients what the charge sheet meant, especially with that case of murder turning into culpable homicide.
I think my phone is hacked.
Hey, don't say that. I forbid.
Updated you.
No, don't say that. Who would want to hack our phone? No.
It doesn't want to restart.
My goodness.
It just doesn't. Can you try the number again?
Maybe we need to find another way.
It just doesn't make sense though.
Call ended. The Mzansi reality line is not going through. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. I don't understand myself.
Try WhatsApp. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello. I guess I need to. Zanzi, hello. 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 I don't know.
Okay, guys, we are having technical difficulties with the phone in particular. We don't know what's happening. It's just blocked. Doesn't have a signal. I tried to call it now. It says line busy. If it doesn't say line busy, it hangs up. So maybe there's a problem. I don't know. But let me see what you guys are saying on the chat.
Yeah. Just while I'm fixing this. It's very funny though.
Let me open the chat. Let me see what you guys are saying. Kaifa Sunkuna says, I have a problem with the restart of the case because the state has an opportunity to correct their mistakes. And this will become a norm when the state loses the case. Do you think it's going to be like a new thing where whenever the state feels like they don't have much, they'll be like de novo all the time.
No, de novo is a special case. It does not happen in anyhow. It has been there before. It's been there. It's not something new, yes. But to start afresh, there's a cost.
Pela, this is South
There's
Africa.
a cost to them.
This is South Africa. We might be seeing more of these because, wow, I've never really even thought of it like that. I'm like, this one has been shady. And the fact that the state now has an opportunity to correct their mistakes, of which we are seeing with this new charge sheet. It's like they added more charges. They removed some of the things, in particular with time, because time was what was giving their case away in the previous. Guys, I don't know. And then Zonke Nzimande said, yes, but we will see, because the state witness are messing up. And Simpiwe Moyo says, but are the statements still the same? He said they're still the same, but not exactly. They are not, from what I'm hearing or seeing from the transcript alone. I feel like there has been a couple of changes. It's just the Defense Council doesn't have issues with the changes, perhaps. So that's what I'm feeling. And then Siam Siana says, if I remember well, Tumelo's testimony, him and Senzo were busy beating the tall guy, and Tumelo himself beat the tall guy with Inkomani, right? That's what I also remember. I remember the punch. I remember the scuffle with the tall guy. It was him, and that's what he said. I don't remember crutches, the use of crutches by Tumelo in particular. I don't know, maybe you guys remember, like Mr. Anonymous. I don't.
No, I don't.
I don't remember Tumelo saying that he took crutches and hit one of the intruders. I don't remember that. I really don't. What I do remember is that Tumelo did say that either Zandi or the mother took the crutches, and they were using the crutches to beat the other intruder. That's what I remember. But today Zandi said a different version, so asasi ozandi banikwa a chance to correct their mistakes. Animal farm type of things. And then Sizwe Mgaga said, it's here. The last time Tumelo said he didn't use crutches. Exactly.
According to Wikipedia,
I don't remember Tumelo saying that he used crutches, guys. I don't.
Maybe I'm also, I don't know, like I'm trying to remember from the back of my head. I'm not sure if he said that, but I think somehow he said I took over the stick part.
He said, I'm shanging.
Yes, he did say that, and then somehow he couldn't reach, and then I took over the stick.
Okay. Mr. Anonymous, you're the only one who remembers that.
I don't know. Maybe you guys can back me up, those who remember. There was a bit of Tumelo saying that, if I'm not mistaken, that he couldn't reach.
Another intruder. That's what I remember. So, and also with the spark thingy that they've added now as attempted murder. Right, guys? Hi, Leo, and I'm side-eyeing that because I remember seeing some of the footage from the media of the following day. Zandi was walking fine.
Yeah, we will have to see the medical.
So a spark of a bullet, and then she saying now it's added as attempted murder. Can't.
Yeah, can you guys try and call now? I think if it doesn't go through now, I don't know.
I mean, the spark has made the state add a whole attempted murder. Sure. Hey, give up it. I'm gonna need proof of that spark in full details as to what damage it almost ended your life.
Yeah.
It needs to be thoroughly explained because I'm a lane man. I don't understand. I'm a lane man. I don't understand how that became attempted murder. And then Meyiwa Meyiwa. Yeah, Meyiwa Meyiwa says, in a documentary, he said that, I believe. So, what did he say in the documentary? Was it about the punch?
Hello? Hello? Guys. Network is it network though?
We've never had such an issue before.
Even WhatsApp is not going through.
Mr. Anonymous, ngathi siyekiwe la. Angiboni kahle. OctoKid said Zandi before she said the exes were Senzo's. This time said both Kelly and Senzo contributed to the car. So Zandi before said yes, she did. She did say that the BMW X6 was Senzo's. And now it's changing to both of them had ownership of it. I don't know about that. I need proof.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? It's good, I'm good.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear your voice. How are you? Hey, we're sinking in la. But welcome to that reality.
Yeah, siyabonga kakhulu, siyabonga show imnandi kakhulu. Siyayilandela kakhulu.
Yeah.
Unfortunately ukuthi South Africa corruption is saying, but I think manje as South Africans sifunde ukulandela okuyiqiniso and sisitike kuloko ngoba lokunye kuyosiconfuse njengoba namhlanje siyakhuluma ukuthi uSenzo bayithenge basanebo 2 imoto dala sizithenga izimoto ngeke basanebo 2 nabona abashadanga in commit of property or anything as far as we know. So and I think we don't have to panic ukuthi mhlambe normal abantu abakule case bangabukela whatever is happening. Always among ayahlangahlanganela wona.
Yeah.
So what was happening today nje uzani bakabhiza hlangahlanganisa izinto. I don't know people that are aware of that.
Yeah.
And sebaphinde kaningi but still bayazihlangahlanganela wona. Because iqiniso lihlala lizimele lona. So
yeah.
I think we don't have to panic about anything.
Yeah.
Always the truth prevail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Siyabonga mfethu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the truth does prevail at the end of the day.
Yeah. Here's the voice note.
Is it safe to listen to?
How about voice note clips? Oh, this one was suggesting. No, you can call now, guys. It's all good.
Voice notes are risky.
It's all good now. It's all good. In terms of WhatsApp, I don't know the other side, but WhatsApp wise, definitely you can call. Yeah, so let me read some of the messages. Good evening. Few aspects. Testimony of today have been tied up and unnecessary explanation have been abandoned. Lorraine said on the entering of the alleged intruder, first Kelly was standing on the passage relating a joke and a gun was pointed at them, demanding money and cell phone, and then Kelly ran to the bedroom with the tall one going after her. Longwe ran towards the gunman, pushed him and ran out, leaving the door open. All of them stood up and pushed both of them to the kitchen. In a sense, what Lorraine is saying to us is that the alleged intruder moved aside and the other just stood and watched her, and she ran to the bedroom without any effort, trying to restrain. So when they now pushed them into the kitchen, the door was now closed. So who closed that door? Because Longer left, it opened. Something is happening here, and we as a nation are being ostracized from the reality. Mzansi reality, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good evening, sir.
All good, sir.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of drama in Senzo Meyiwal case. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I remember when Titi Toban said, "Your Lordship." I think he repeated 3 times, and now we are seeing the truth behind the justice system, where the elites are using it to advantage themselves.
Yeah.
It's happening all over the world. We saw it with R. Kelly case. We saw it now with Senzo in South Africa. So we are under attack. But I think now it's a win-win situation whereby this defense tried to correct their mistakes. Even the defense must correct their mistakes. I remember when sometimes you did an analysis on this case. You said, I think Mushololo missed some points. So now it's time for her to rectify the mistakes and attack the state with this, to say, okay. And now what I like about this this judge now is saying we are entertaining that 735 case. So, yeah, I think we are going somewhere now.
Yeah.
Because the 735 case has a lot of information where even on the media or SABC, you call them, all of them, they are not showing it. So because they have that sense of humor to say, if the public knows about 735 details, they will obviously crush them to bones. So thank you very much and good night, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
How are you, sir?
I'm all good in yourself.
All good.
I'd like to comment on the topic that you guys are discussing in terms of like the Senzo Meyiwal's case.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the Meyiwal's family's prayers and cries are being heard because now they have a new judge, who doesn't take nonsense, who wants justice to be served so that the family can know the truth, I feel like Senzo Meyiwa in his grave is happy, with now things are changing and finally justice will be served since there's a new judge, because the other judge was just like procrastinating, taking time, to make the matter be resolved on time. So now that we have the new judge, we are happy that finally there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm really glad so that the family can finally be at peace, and find out the truth, what happened actually.
Yeah, it's starting to feel good.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's starting to feel.
Guys, please use WhatsApp. For some weird reasons, this number is only on emergency calls only. So use WhatsApp. WhatsApp is gonna go through.
Sizwe Mgaga says, I'm still lost to what time they were going to Mahumuta's party because it was already around 8 p.m.
Yes.
Now there's no longer a mention of going back to that party. Whatever happened to that?
As I said, there are a lot of things that are gonna change. A lot of things that are gonna be like overlooked. Not change per se, or not mentioning it now, because I mean, it doesn't have proper defense. You cannot defend it. So what do? You let go of what you cannot defend. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Good evening, Mr. Anonymous.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
All is good. All is good.
Yeah, we are just enjoying these recent proceedings. We are really heading somewhere, and even the pace is good.
Mm.
And the judge is not even interrupting or what I picked about him. He's not even having those breakups to say, can you repeat again? Like taking notes slowly, like we are used to.
All of that is gone now.
So you may even think maybe he's not taking note or something. He's just like a machine recording.
Yes.
And one funny part I picked up is just that you know where the version is being changed. It's Zandi is trying to wipe away the other part, which was mentioned in the recordings of Soweto Mandlazi, to say that when Longwe came in, found all people in the house. All were quiet and it was silent. There was no movement and he didn't even greet anyone. Yeah, so now Zandi, whatever, maybe it's not just a story, maybe they are trying to make it all. She's saying Longwe found Senzo and Kelly outside going to buy soup. And he texted, she also met Longwe outside. She's trying to avoid that. Longwe came in and she found everyone in and it was silent, and just somewhere there it's where I'm seeing that she's trying to avoid that thing of saying he came in and it was silent and so whatever. So maybe these are most of the things that they tried tuning up, but it's going to have short legs, because I'm just saying a prospect that even when that Longwe comes to the stand, unless they are not going to bring him, that guy, he has something in this case. He's going to crack, and he's going to be to give a lot of loopholes in the state case. So fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best. It looks really that we are going in the right direction now.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, back on the time. Let's give a chance to others. Good night, Emily.
Good night.
Good night.
Sure.
Hey, this case.
Yeah. Guys, let's see if there's gonna be someone coming through. But yeah, it has been, I think, smooth. Other than the cell phone night today, so we are happy about that in terms of.
Here's Auntie CK Moyo coming with a good question. Are the watching briefs still there? Are they still there?
Very interesting, because they never said anything. Remember, everyone was greeting the judge and all that.
Yeah, the media were introducing themselves and watching brief or nah.
Dololo.
And Siam Siana says, firstly, Senzo was the second person who stood up after Longwe, but today Zandi doesn't remember who stood up. She said they all stood up.
Yeah.
That's another point from the previous.
Yeah.
Before the de novo. A lot of things changed.
Yeah, a lot of things changed. Even our number cannot go through or somewhere.
A lot of things changed today. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, let us press the like button, and I think I should call it a day for me.
Yeah, we need to see what's happening with the phone.
Yeah, the phone, guys, is on an
guys.
emergency. And what is funny about it being on an emergency side is that other numbers that are normal, that are not known to you guys, they are fine.
But this one is stuck.
Only this number
It doesn't
is
go
showing
through.
that it's switched.
So something funny is happening.
Someone is messing up with our phone.
So we need to check that out.
Yeah. So that's how it is. Because, I mean, it's the same, the funny thing is it's Vodacom, right?
The same network.
We're using the same network.
Mine is fine.
Mine is fine too.
But the one for the channel is not.
Yes.
I don't know why. But it's fine.
It's a crazy stuff that
Let's check it out and see what's happening. So, guys, it's a wrap. We're wrapping it up. We'll see you again tomorrow. I'm so sorry about what is happening with this. It's the situation is out of our hands. It's out of our control. We've been trying to bring it back. It's not coming back. I don't understand what's happening. What they're doing. I don't get it because we are just talking. Okay?
Yeah.
But we will see you on the next one. We will probably be streaming again. This time around, I don't know if we should change the time slot or what.
Yeah, we will see what we can do, guys. Thank you very much for being with us. They hacked you guys. We'll check that. Don't worry. Yeah, we'll see what we do tomorrow. But it's not a problem. We will figure that one out.
Hi, it's a wrap, guys. Pray for us. Bye.